Hey everybody, Roger here from O'Reilly Auto Parts to show you how to change the front brake pads and rotors on a Chevy Silverado 1500. Before I get into that, take a second to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any of our new content. Today I'll be changing the pads and rotors on a 2009 Silverado 1500, but you'll find this job is very similar on any Silverado from 2007 to 2014. Remember, if you're not completely comfortable doing this yourself, we'd be happy to recommend a professional technician in your area. Once you've got your supplies together, here's what you'll do. Park on a level surface. Loosen the lug nuts on the front wheels with your 22mm socket. You may have to remove a plastic wheel or lug nut cover. Jack up the front end and put it on stands. Remove the lug nuts and the wheel. If your rotor has a retaining pin, use a hex tool to remove it. In our case, it's a T30. Use your 19mm socket to remove the two brake caliper bolts. If your caliper can be removed without prying against the rotor, this can help prevent over-machining the rotor if you're intending to resurface it. If you're replacing the rotor with a new one, this doesn't need to be a consideration. Remove the brake caliper and place it on a caliper hanger. Remove the brake pads from the caliper bracket. Take a minute to visually inspect the pads for abnormal wear. If you're replacing them with brake best pads, the box has a brake pad wear chart for reference. The chart shows the possible causes for abnormal wear that may need to be addressed. Remove the brake clips. Use your 18mm socket to remove the two brake caliper bracket bolts. Remove the brake caliper bracket. You should now be able to slide off the brake rotor. Use a wire brush to clean the wheel hub of any rust or debris. Clean the brake caliper bracket with brake cleaner where the brake pad hardware clips and brake pads will sit. Clean the brake caliper bracket guide pins and holes with brake cleaner. Anytime you use brake cleaner, remember that it will strip paint, so be very careful where you spray it. Wipe down the new brake rotor with brake cleaner to remove protective coating. Be careful not to get brake cleaner on the pads or the part of the rotor not contacted by the pads to help prevent rust. It's also a good idea to wash the rotors with soap and water to remove any fine particles left over from the factory machining process. These particles can be embedded in the brake pad and cause noise. Place the new rotor on the wheel hub and use a lug nut or retaining pin to keep it in place. Reinstall the brake caliper bracket. Torque it to 129 foot-pounds. Now clean the exposed portion of your caliper piston with brake cleaner on a towel or rag. If the rubber boot is cracked or if there's brake fluid leaking, the caliper needs to be replaced. Attach your one-man bleeder tool and open the bleeder valve by turning it counterclockwise. Compress the brake caliper with a C-clamp or brake caliper compressor tool. Use an old brake pad to protect the pistons. When you're done, the piston should be flush with the housing. Retighten the bleeder valve, being careful not to let any air into the line. Now apply grease to the back and ears of the new brake pads. Be careful not to get brake grease on the pad or rotor friction surfaces. Reinstall the brake clips. Insert the brake pads into the brake caliper bracket. Reinstall the brake caliper. Make sure the brake hose is not twisted. Apply 100% silicone grease to the guide pins. Use a 19mm wrench and socket to tighten down the caliper bolts. Torque them to 74 foot-pounds. Take off the lug nut that was holding the rotor. Don't forget to remove your caliper hanger from the wheel well. Reinstall the wheel and hand tighten the lug nut so that it's flush against the rotors. Except in unusual circumstances, you should always change pads and rotors in pairs, so repeat these steps on the other side. Lower the vehicle. Use a 22mm socket to tighten the lug nuts in a star pattern. Torque them to 140 foot-pounds. Once the job is complete, before you drive anywhere, be sure to pump your brake pedal several times until you feel the pressure return. It should feel the way it did before the brake job. Some brake fluid was pushed out when you compressed your pistons, so check your master cylinder and add fluid as needed. If your brake pedal does feel spongy, you probably have air in one or both of your front brake lines. Here's a link to a video on how to bleed those lines to remove the air. To help break in the new components, it's a good idea to test drive your vehicle. slowing it 15 to 20 times from 50 to 30 miles per hour with moderate brake pressure. allowing the brakes to cool in between each slowdown. Try to avoid aggressive stops during this break-in process. Your brakes will probably smell after you've done this, but that's okay. If the odor persists past 500 miles or so, or if you have excessive dust on one wheel, you may have a stuck caliper. And that's it! You'll find everything you need for this and other jobs at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com. Our DIY videos are designed to help answer questions we get in our stores every day, so if you found this one helpful, subscribe to our channel to get all the latest. We'll see you again soon.